All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I think that I have done this correctly, and I did. So, the funny thing about today that Shane probably doesn't know, and I know he doesn't know because I didn't tell him this until live. We're live now, and I apologize for us being so late. But instead of hitting record, um, this won't be for every podcast. We're just gonna test this out. We will plan this out in the future for other ones, especially when we are together. But for this specific one that we're doing right now, we are just talking about wrestling and everything like that. But instead of it being a recording, we are actually live. I wanted to do a live stream YouTube, and just so that
Oh,
way it's
snap.
already on YouTube, and so that way we can have a recording for YouTube, so we can get the not necessarily just the stream time up on the YouTube to try to get partnered and stuff like that. But for this one, we're just gonna test it out, see how it works, and then for future ones, if we have to pre-record it for whatever reason, then obviously I can do that. But we'll just make it work. So with that said, hello Shane,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm doing all right. Lazy day today. How are you?
I am exhausted, as you know.
Yeah.
Now WWE,
Oh boy.
WWE. We are on the road to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. If you did not know, now you know. We are on the road to WrestleMania, and honestly, I wish I could tell you what exactly is happening, but I can't because I feel like this card changes every week. I feel like this card changes every week, and the biggest question on everyone's mind right now is, will Cody Rhodes finish his story? Now, I say we start there. Will Cody Rhodes finish his story? What are your thoughts?
I hope so. I think I've said in a couple podcasts ago, like I was probably the most excited for Cody losing at WrestleMania 39. However, hindsight being 2020, I feel like it was the wrong decision. I am so ready for him to finish his story and to never use that phrase ever again.
Now, obviously, we have been kind of dwindling in the what could happen, what should happen, what would happen, what shoulda, coulda, woulda stuff, right? Um, I kind of want to try to keep us on track of what is actually going to happen at WrestleMania. Now,
Yeah.
me and you love to fantasy book, as we have been doing together for like the last 2 to 3 months at this point. Um, but as of now, and I think I texted you it. I'm going to try to pull it up very, very quickly. But as of now, we have what is a very packed card for WrestleMania 40. And it is just so crazy, in my opinion. We have what now officially is Sami Zayn versus Gunther.
Okay. Banger.
Unless they want to change that at the last minute, but from the Intercontinental Gauntlet match that they had, that seems, I should say, seems to be the issue, because really and truly, I don't think that has actually been announced, but that is what it's supposed to be. We do know that Bayley is going to go face Io Sky for the, I'm about to say SmackDown's Women's Championship, but that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about Bayley versus Io?
I'm excited.
The one match
I don't
that
know.
I
I
think
wish there
people
was
are not
more.
talking about.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I wish there was more emphasis on the story because of Bailey, but I feel like she's going to get a big moment at WrestleMania, so I'm okay with the lackluster build in a way, as long as she gets her
The
her
funny
Mania
thing
moment.
is, I wouldn't even call it lackluster. I wouldn't call that build lackluster at all. I think that the build and everything in that feud right now is actually amazing. But everything else with WWE right now is just so overly saturated and focused on Cody Rhodes and Roman. I think the build between Bailey and Io has been tremendous. Like we've had Damage Control going there, them break up. We had the Dakota Kai story about trust me, I wasn't even there, and then her turning the back on them. I think that the build, it might feel lackluster just simply because we've had so much eyes and so many thoughts on everything else. Because if we take The Rock out of the situation, right?
Mhm.
I truly think that the hype would be more, but just because there are so many quote unquote more big names to the product, all of the focus and attention is really heavily on that. But when you look at the women's division in general, I was going to tweet this earlier today. When you look at the women's um division in general, right? We have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, which they are pushing. I think that is more lackluster than Bailey and Io, in my opinion. I don't think I know that story, but me personally, I'm more invested in Bailey and Io. Just because they've been a team for the last God forever long. Bailey brought them in. She's been the leader. It's kind of like a female Shield in a type of way, where they turned her back on her. And I know I'm interested. I know a lot of other people are interested from my standpoint. But I just think because of so many other things that are happening on the grandest stage of them all, it's kind of not forgotten about in a sense, but not as important. And I think for me personally that's bull crap because like this woman won the Royal Rumble. She was in the Royal Rumble for a tremendous amount of time. So it's not like she came in at 30 and just won. Cody, right?
Right.
It's not like she just came in at 30 and won. She had a stable that dominated the SmackDown Women's division for months, probably even a year, ever since they
Almost 2 years.
returned. Yeah, since they returned when Io cashed in. Not even that, before then, when they returned, and who was it? It was Becky versus, was it Charlotte?
I think it was Bianca.
Bianca, correct. Thank you. It was Becky versus Bianca, and that's when Damage Control debuted at that WrestleMania. So
Yeah.
that in itself, I'm like, ever since then, they've been a dominant stable. Okay, so I have it here. The current, from what we know, the current fight card, and that is simply going to be I'm going to try to get it up here for the beautiful stream and whatnot. So that's simply going to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, Reigns and The Rock versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins on day one. And this is coming from Sean Ross Sapp.
Okay.
Bailey versus Io Sky.
Yep.
Seth versus Drew McIntyre.
Also on day one.
Okay, so this does not have days. This is just listing the card.
Gotcha.
So I cannot speculate on the days. We can get into that though. So we have Cody versus Roman, Reigns and Rock versus Cody and Rollins, Becky versus Rhea, Bailey versus Io, Seth versus Drew, Jimmy versus Dre, AJ Styles versus LA Knight, Gunther versus Sami Zayn, the 6-team ladder match, which we don't know all of the teams as yet, Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, and he also went on to attach Kevin Owens' WrestleMania resume, which is IC Intercontinental Ladder match, beating Chris Jericho for the United States title, teaming up with Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan's return match with Shane, beating Seth Rollins, beating Sami Zayn, main eventing Stone Cold Steve Austin with Stone Cold Steve Austin in his return, excuse me, won a main event versus Jey Uso, and then now he's going to go face Logan Paul and Randy Orton. That's one hell of a WrestleMania resume, and that's just for Kevin Owens. So we could talk there. We could start there.
Dang, that's a
Yeah.
wow.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I did not know that was his WrestleMania resume. But looking at it, I think it's tremendous. It really made me realize how great of a talent KO is. It made me realize about how I wouldn't say some people could say underappreciated. And I'm glad that he's on the show. I can't say he's not appreciated. Literally last year, he's the one man who got Stone Cold Steve Austin to come out of retirement. And lost that match. But hey, he main evented a WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then he won in a main event the very next year with Sami Zayn. Like, that in itself is crazy. So we'll start there. KO versus Randy Orton versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship.
Yeah.
Who do you have? Granted, we'll probably get into the predictions later, but we'll actually have a prediction show. But as we're talking about it leading up to the road of WrestleMania, instead of who do you have, let's say, what do you think about this build up? What do you think about this feud? And what do you think about this match?
It's interesting because I did not peg KO or Randy Orton being anywhere near the United States Championship picture. I assumed, I think a lot of us did, that it was going to be LA Knight in that spot.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. It's interesting. I, again, did not remotely think that we'd see Randy Orton in a triple threat match for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. I think it's an interesting swerve. I don't know if I like the idea of Randy in a United States title match. Strictly just because, I don't know, do you put that title on Randy?
No, I think they're putting it on Owens, to be honest.
I think so too.
And I think it's really going to be, hey, we're all going to fight each other, because KO and Orton have been kind of friendly the last couple of weeks. But I think that's gonna change at WrestleMania, and I truly think that it's going to be a fight, and then at the end of it, I think Owens wins. Can we?
Oh, we're gonna see an RKO or a stunner or both,
of course,
thrown before we get to
okay.
Mania.
See, now you just said RKO onto a stunner, right? Can we talk about the big botch?
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Austin Theory, I love you, but I need you to stop hesitating. Austin Theory is amazing at what he does. He's very young. He's still learning, but that was ridiculous. If you don't know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, please go look it up, because it's kind of crazy. Now, let's move on. We talked about Bayley and Io. We talked about Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. I want to talk about something that, one, I didn't even see coming. Two, granted, I don't even know who all is going to be there, but for some odd reason, we're having a 6-pack ladder match at WrestleMania 40. 6 teams.
12 people. 12
people. And so far, we know that we have Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the Judgment Day. We have they're not. I don't know what their new name is, so I'm going to keep on calling them the New Catch Republic.
That's it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they used to be called British Strong Style.
Yep.
So all we know is that we have the Judgment Day, New Catch Republic, Legado del Fantasma.
Yep.
I definitely think that we're going to get R-Truth and Miz, obviously.
Probably DIY.
And then the last team, I think, could be just to get him on the card. It could be the Alpha Academy.
Oh.
Or because I say you guys want Chad Gable on the card. If he's not doing anything with Gunther, I say put him in the 6-pack ladder match.
Yeah.
Because I would say do Pretty Deadly, but that's who New Catch Republic just went against. So that would kind of like defeat the purpose.
Do you put AOP?
You could, but that would kind of be out of nowhere. You could, but then I could make the same argument with why not the Street Profits, and then I could say they're a 3-man team, but so are AOP technically. So
I'm just trying to think of another heel tag team because it's really babyface heavy.
I mean, yeah, it is babyface heavy, and if you're looking for a heel tag, I mean, Legado del Fantasma are heels.
Yep.
Judgment Day is heels. Then you have New Catch Republic, who I guess are baby faces.
Oh, definitely babyface.
You have Miz and R-Truth, who are baby faces.
Yep.
And then we have who we're assuming here because we don't know the last 3 teams technically, but Miz and R-Truth, and I think that's an obvious giveaway.
Because I think they're winning.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. And then I think you could put in the Creed brothers.
That's a good shout.
They've been gone for a minute.
Yeah, they have been.
So I think you put in the Creed brothers. I don't know if any of them are injured. I don't know what's going on with them, but you can throw them in there and put them on the WrestleMania card. Or you can throw in the New Day. They're not doing nothing right now.
That's a good shout too.
Because you're going to need teams in there that kind of know what they're doing as well.
Street Profits.
You could throw, well, once again, they're doing stuff with Bobby Lashley.
That's true too.
So that's why I'm kind of eliminating Street Profits and the Authors of Pain, because they're kind of doing their own thing right there. And then if I look at everybody else, I'm like, well, it can't be the LWO. They just lost to Legado del Fantasma. It's not going to be Pretty Deadly. They just lost to New Catch Republic.
Mm-hmm.
So who is it going to be? So I say New Day, or they could do the makeshift team of whoever and whoever. You could call an NXT team up there, but you could do Baron Corbin and goodness gracious, Braun Breaker.
Braun.
They just did that, and I think that would be fun because they just won the Dusty Classic.
Yeah.
So it would make sense. And honestly,
they are tag team. Yeah.
They're tag team champions down there.
Yeah.
Now, are they going to win? No. And do we really want to go in there and pick Braun? I don't think Braun Breaker needs to be in a ladder match. So that's kind of far-winded there. But
that's an exciting prospect though, because he's so good.
Yeah, he is. We've never seen him with props, and God forbid we don't need him to get injured. But
that's true.
What I will say is this: whoever the teams end up being, and we kind of discussed it yesterday, I truly think that this is the way that WWE splits the tag team championships.
Mm-hmm.
I think one team, Miz and R-Truth, are grabbing down the Raw tag team championships. And I do think that rather New Czech Republic or the Legado del Fantasma end up getting the SmackDown ones. Mm-hmm. I would say Legado del Fantasma because then they can do their thing with LWO. Again, but this time have a belt, so it would be more purpose. And this time,
I guess that's true.
Yeah, like, we can reunite that fuel and be like, well, you beat us once or whatever. That was luck. But now we want to challenge you for whatever. Because really and truly, if you pit it on Legado del Fantasma, yeah, they can run the circle and run the circuit. But if you put it on New Czech, you could put it on either one of those teams and they could run the circuit. I just think that if you put it on, because what are they? Sheamus's team is dead and gone.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you put it on New Czech Republic, it's just like we don't have a story on the other side of that. You put it on Legado del Fantasma, and I'm like, well, you kind of already have a set up story with LWO. And if you want to keep it there, you can then include the Creed brothers. You can include Pretty Deadly. You can include the teams that you beat. You can include the New Czech Republic that you beat, and you keep on. You can rotate because we're getting a tag team division down here. So I think it
Sure.
makes sense pitting it on the Legado del Fantasma just because there's a story there. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a fan.
But I like to see them with the belt anyways. I think Angel and Humberto have paid their dues for a long ass
They
time,
have. I agree with that
and I
as
think
well.
they're more than deserving.
I agree with that as well. Other than the 6-pack challenge, we have, let's say, me versus me. I don't know why they keep on saying that, but Uso versus Uso, Jimmy versus Jay.
Yeah.
One big thing that is not confirmed, nor do I think it would happen, but what I think would be really cool, and granted, it still can happen. Like maybe this person be at ringside, or this person just end up showing up. I would have, and granted, I don't know how he's moving or whatever, but I would have loved to have seen Rikishi be involved in this.
1000%.
I would love for him to be at ringside. I would love for him. I was gonna say special guest referee, but like I said, he's a big man, so I don't know if his knees are gonna help going up and going down. But maybe they get in a blood fight afterwards, and Rikishi comes out, breaks it up, or is in,
Hmm.
because he's said multiple times he wanted to be a part of it, but no I's were dotted or T's are crossed. So if they can, I think that would be cool. We haven't seen Rikishi since what Legends
Forever.
when Heath Slater was taking a Rikishi driver. Oh, I'm sorry, the Annihilator now. Um,
I couldn't tell you. Is he a Hall of Famer?
yeah. He is.
Okay, probably his Hall of Fame induction then.
Hello, silly. I have the Hall of Fame belt that you just saw.
I know, you're right. I'm stupid.
It's okay. But yeah, no, I think that was the last time we saw him was probably the Hall of Fame when the whole Scotty Too Hottie stuff happened. And we were like, what?
Because that feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But Jimmy versus Jay, I say Jay. Jay needs it more than Jimmy, honestly. And Jimmy is so good at just being a clown and not caring about anything. So I think Jay gets the win here, especially since Jimmy's been screwing him over lately.
It's a clean babyface win.
Yeah, and we need it. He needs it. He's
But,
definitely. Go ahead.
there's something interesting I saw. So this is the third brother versus brother match in WrestleMania history. It's happened every 15 years. So at 15, wait, I lied. I can't do the math.
Yeah, I was about to say 45.
Yeah.
But regardless, no, that's cool to hear. Edge and Christian.
No, it was Brett and Owen.
Oh, Brett and
Jeff
Owen.
and Matt.
Oh.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
10, 25, 40. There we
dude.
go. 10, 25, 40.
I was thinking, I said Edge and Christian, but I was thinking Jericho Christian.
Mhm. And the heels have won all three of them, or both of them so far. So do we continue and have Jimmy win?
No, I don't. I think that would kill Jay. I
agree.
don't think Jimmy needs it. Like right now, Jay has in the last year and a half proved himself. Ever since he split up from the Bloodline, he's legitimately proved himself as the quote main event. Jay Uso. If you would have told me 4, 5, 6 years ago, because these guys have been in the business for over a decade, if you would have told me 10 years ago that Jay Uso would be a main event star, I would laugh in your face and tell you that you're lying.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's been having the number one merch during some weeks. He gets a crowd reaction every time he comes out, and it's not artificial. It's not the crowd cheers that they love to pipe in. These are real life chants of like, we want Jay and etc. So like it's been a real like blessing and really cool to see Jay get his due diligence, because he's proved himself to not only WWE but a lot of other people who didn't think that he could do it. And I personally just think that is really, really cool. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
Not one I thought we would see.
Not one I thought we would see either. And it's kind of weird because they're both like former TNA guys.
Oh yeah.
This match confuses me. Just because like it's like that one match that doesn't need to be on the card, but is.
I think we're gonna get a stipulation. I don't think it's gonna be a straight singles.
I hope so. I hope it's like last man standing or something.
Something fun, something to change it up.
Yeah, because I'm just like, don't get me wrong, it's going to be a great match. However, once again, it's just random. It's a revenge match because you've hurt me in the past and cost me X, Y, and Z. I get it. You beat me up at Elimination Chamber. I get it, right? Like, I
Yeah.
want my revenge. I get it. But it's kind of that odd, like, it's supposed to be a revenge match. It's supposed to be that brutal beatdown. That's what I think. Like, when I hear of this match, like, I think of, like, oh, Stone Cold getting ran over by Rikishi and you did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock.
Like, that's the type of energy I think they're supposed to be giving us, right? Yeah. But we haven't really done much. And they're trying. Like, LA Knight is walking around backstage. Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis, whatever, is stopping him from walking around with a steel chair. Like, they're trying to pump it up and make it make sense. And I get it. And they're trying. And it's just like...
Was AJ on the card last year for Mania, or was he hurt?
He was hurt, injured. He was injured last year.
So both of these guys missed last year. So at least they're going to be featured somewhat prominently.
Yeah.
This year, as long as it's not a chairs match, because I swear to God, if they tie it in to make it a chairs match,
that's good. And honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised. This is probably going to be the Slim Jim match or the Snickers match or whatever, the Prime match. Well, Logan's on the card. He will have a side note. Let's talk about that really quick. Did you hear about that?
I'm hoping it's a gimmick.
It's not a gimmick. It's a real thing.
Is it a real thing?
It's real. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. And that's just because, and I'm not saying that you don't, but that's just because in every other sport, there's some type of brandishing on something. NBA, it's all over the place. You can't look at a basketball court and not see a logo.
It feels just very out of place, and I don't know if it's just the way that the Prime logo is designed. It just looked awkward.
I would rather them put it on the apron than in the middle of the ring. Or on the turnbuckle pads.
Yeah.
Like, I would have it on the curtain of the aprons. And the turnbuckle pads. It being in the middle of the ring like that, I get it. And
it just looks awkward.
It does look awkward. And I think it looks awkward to us just because we're not used to seeing it.
And maybe that's it. But WCW...
I was just about to say that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't they have it in the corners? Like,
so WCW did have it, yes. They had it in the corners of the map.
And I think that looks good. I think personally that looks okay.
I think we just need to get used to it. It's not something I hate. I just think it's something that we need to get used to. I say it's granted. I don't look, y'all. I don't know this Logan Paul man, right? I only know him from social media. I've never met him. Actually, that's a lie. I met him when I was very younger, but years ago before he's this Logan Paul that he is today. As much as we want to say that we hate him or whatever the social media is, right? You got to respect the man. The man is a modern day Kurt Angle. And I do. And the reason why I say that is because who else do you know that walked into the business and has picked it up as quickly as Kurt did? Okay. I can't name one person other than Kurt and Brock Lesnar.
Valid argument.
And in that respect, no one is touching Logan. This man literally walked in and is doing frog splashes, Canadian destroyers, things that he should not be able to do because he was just a boxer. No one knew that he had the agility that he did when he walked. As sure as hell I didn't. And when he walked in with the Miz of all people, we were like, oh yeah, this is going to be a joke match. And all of us were impressed. I remember all of our jaws being on the floor and saying, there's no way Logan just did that. That's Logan Paul. Like, no one should be that good. And he's great. He's been in the business for less than 5 years.
Only 2, right? 2 years?
I think it's 2. Maybe I wanted to say under 3, but I don't have. Let me see. Let me pull it up really quick. When did Logan Paul debut? He debuted. Oh, sorry. In WWE.
Gotta be specific there.
Marking his debut in the WWE at WrestleMania 38, Logan Paul teamed up with The Miz to defeat Rey and Dominic Mysterio.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. He hasn't even been in the business for 3 years, and look at everything that he's done.
Wow,
I have to give the man his flowers. I
that's
have to
insane.
respect the fact that as a person, and I don't know him personally, so I can't judge him personally. I might not agree with all of the things that he does, says, and how he acts in certain scenarios, but as a person and as a businessman, I have to look at him and shake his hand and say, I give you your credit. Because
Oh, 100%.
not only are you going out there busting your ass, doing something that I would dream of doing, you're doing it greatly. You're atomic nuclear heat because the world hates you because you're a social media personality, right? But on the other side, you look at the businessman. He has one of the, and granted, I don't know this because I've never had them, but you have one of the all time. I don't know if they're considered energy drinks. I don't know what they are, but Prime, right? You have one of the most leading. We'll call them energy drinks for energy drinks that's in the game right now. You have Prime everywhere. You can't go to a store without seeing Prime now. It's all over the world. And now you have your own podcast that you do with all stars, not only of talent of WWE, but other people as well. And then on top of that, you're a former MMA fighter or boxer, whatever you want to call it. You have a tremendous following on social media, whether that be positive and or negative. And now you just signed a multi-million-billion-dollar contract with the WWE as a talent and are their first sponsor that they've had in years. Probably in all of WWE's existence, because I don't ever recall them having a sponsor on the mat.
Yeah.
Now I can't say in WWE history because WWE technically owns WCW and WCW had the mat, blah 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 blah. But
blah, blah, blah.
Since 1992, I can't tell you. You've never seen it.
I think because Vince was adamant that it shouldn't be there.
Well, he shouldn't be there either, and that's why he's gone.
Oh well.
So
We digress.
I got to give it to Logan on that.
I hate how good he is.
I mean,
I hate it, but I'm so impressed with what he does.
It's like I can sit here, like I think I stopped hating how good he was after I saw his second match, because when he's diving off of ropes through tables outside of the ring, and it like I see him doing stuff with Dominic and Ray when he first debuted, and I'm like, wow, right? And then I see his second match, and I go, wow. And then I see his third match, just like, I can't hate you anymore, dude, because unlike the rest of the people that come in WWE that are not wrestlers or superstars, you're good, you get it, you respect the business, and you do it well. Now, on the floor, right? On the floor of what, like, I can't, as much as I say, like, I want to be a hater of him because of, once again, his social media preference. We don't know this man from the grass that's growing outside, right? His social media presence is what a lot of people don't like about him. I cannot sit here and say I hate how good he is.
Well, I can.
Well, you can, yeah, 100%. But for me, I go, dude, I can say that, but at the end of the day, I'm going to respect it. You know?
I respect him. I mean,
it's just,
I guess I hate the character of Logan Paul.
That's understandable. I can give you that.
Yeah.
I can give you that all day.
I'm so glad that they leaned into the heel side of Logan Paul.
Yeah, because for a little bit they were trying to go to the babyface side, and we were like, "What are you doing? Just let us hate him because the rest of the world already does."
Yes,
just let us hate him.
He is so good,
dude. Him and Dominic Mysterio in one ring, gold.
I love it.
I don't know who would get booed louder.
Dominic might get cheers.
Honestly, yeah, you put Dominic in his. Yeah, honestly, you want to turn Dom heel? You want to turn Dom face? Have him go up to Logan Paul and smack him.
Oh yeah, and those boos will turn into cheers real quick.
I can't believe. Well, actually, I can, because he's technically a Guerrero. But I was gonna say I haven't heard nuclear heat like this since like Vicky.
You're right.
Like, I can't tell you like nuclear heat. I can't tell you the last person that's had nuclear heat in WWE before Dirty Dom.
You're right. It's been a long time.
It has. And I'm really like sitting here thinking the only person that I can think that even really had, and I don't even think it was heat, it was just disbelief, was, and I mean, people cheered Roman when he went heel. Seth when he hit people, Roman with the chair, but that wasn't even nuclear. That was disbelief. Brock breaking the streak was disbelief.
Babyface Roman had nuclear heat.
Babyface, yes, I'll give you that. Babyface Roman had nuclear heat. And then when he went heel, we all started cheering him.
Yep.
But yeah, Babyface Roman, yeah. Babyface Roman did have nuclear heat. Speaking of heat and a champion, we have Sami Zayn versus Gunther.
I'm so excited.
I
want to bring up Gunther really quick because it just popped in my head. Gunther takes on Logan Paul because he thinks the mat is sacred and he wants to just beat the hell out of him because he put the logo on the mat.
I mean, that's a Shane's Wrestling Federation thing, but you know,
I love it. Make it happen.
This is going to be a match that I you might hate me for saying this. This is another one of the matches that I don't understand why it's on the card.
I don't feel like we talked about this yesterday, I think, too. I love Sami Zayn. I don't think he needs this.
He doesn't, which is why I'm like, why didn't Chad win? It makes me feel like, did something happen in the background? Did Chad piss off somebody?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I just think
they chose Sami because he's a bigger number.
Booking for this yet?
Yeah, me neither. I hope not.
Personally,
I hope not.
I hope not. But
we'll find out tomorrow on Raw.
Oh, that is tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow is Raw, 3/18.
Wow.
Happy 3/16 day. That was yesterday for Stone Cold. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yeah, I hope that we're not done with this yet. I hope that Chad gets booked as a triple threat. I really do. I really hope that shoulder stuff like comes back into play because his shoulders weren't all the way down, and I definitely want to see that.
I hope this is a case of Triple H underestimating the overness of Chad Gable, and I hope he calls an audible because he has recently. He's done pretty good at being like, oh, this isn't what the universe wants. Let's give it to them.
Oh, especially about the reaction that they got that Chad had.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And Sami not getting the reaction that he wanted. And again, it's not because we wanted to see Sami lose.
Yeah.
But we just wanted Chad to win.
And it's also because like Sami gains nothing from like if going into this, Gunther wins. Sami gains nothing from beating Gunther.
Agreed.
He gains nothing. Chad would gain something because you planted the seed already there.
Yep.
But Sami goes in this and wins. He gains nothing but the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep.
Like, and the man who beat Gunther, but it's really not going to mean anything. Now, granted,
again, he doesn't need it.
Now, granted, this could happen, right? And Gunther wins because we have to remember, and I kind of want to throw this in here. I don't think anything's going to happen for WrestleMania, but rumor has it, and I don't think this has been confirmed, but apparently Brock Lesnar is on his way back.
I have heard rumors as well.
Brock Lesnar is supposedly on his way back to the WWE, which makes me think, or makes me go rewind. Are you not the individual in the lawsuit?
I don't know.
I mean, that was all assumptions.
Yeah.
Nothing was proven because your name was redacted. And even if it was, like, I don't know how evil you were during the situation. I don't want to dive into that. But I just hope that TKO goes, hey, make sure this guy is clean before he comes back because we don't need any more issues on our hand. Because as WrestleMania is here, yeah, everybody's eyes are on the TV, and that's what The Rock is great at. Him being a board of directors, everybody's focused on this Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes shit.
Yeah.
Y'all, last week Vince McMahon sold some of his stock. The man made like $400 billion selling the stock.
Yeah.
And people are still asking questions. Like this lawsuit in real life outside of WWE is very much still happening.
Yeah.
So we do have to keep in the mind, like, yeah, we're all excited that WrestleMania is here. And TKO is pretty much like, hey, cleaning our hands. This has nothing to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know.
But it does. But it does.
Yeah. So we definitely have to be like, hey, this is the situation. So we'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I brought up Brock.
Surprised he didn't show up on Monday, to be honest with you.
I'm glad that he didn't.
Me too. I could have totally seen him pulling a last minute addition to the gauntlet, and I am
glad
so
that
thankful
he didn't.
that I was wrong.
Yeah, so happy that didn't happen. But I brought that up because I was sitting here and I was just like, dude, like, if the plans were what they were written not too long ago, the plan, from what we know, was Gunther was supposed to be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Regardless if that was going to be for the championship or not, Gunther was going to go over. Brock was going to go do the job for Gunther and then go away again. Supposedly. And if that happens here, right? Let's just say that happens again. Meaning, they stick to the plan. Gunther beats Sami Zayn. And just imagine if Gunther squashes him. Sami's been saying, I want to do something inspirational and all this other stuff. What if he goes into WrestleMania and granted, I don't want him to do that, but he shows how he's a dominant champion, goes in there, good match, but pins him clean in the middle of the ring. And then walks out with the Intercontinental Championship. Now you could get Chad Gable. Granted, it would be a double turn, but you could, and it doesn't even have to be a turn. You could just have Chad Gable go out there after the match and just whoop him and say, I want your title, and that set up that story again. Like Sami Zayn, Sami screwed me over, my shoulders were up. You could play that story after he beat Sami. You could easily do that.
I almost want that to be tomorrow night, Sami coming out and being like, I won, but I won unfairly. Your shoulders were up. Let's do this for real. I really want that to happen just because I want Chad in there so bad.
Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. We do have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Rhea, I think, is winning here.
I hope so.
I hope so. I can see them taking it away from her in the specific scenario of you've had this title for too long. We need to get it off of you. And the only reason why I say that is because we had a conversation the other day about how the majority of champions are these long-winded champions right now. Everyone has had the titles for so long. The only titles that have been really exchanged were the tag team belts, and that's it.
Yeah,
the women's and the men's. Not even the men's, because Judgment Day they lost and then they got it right back from Jay and Cody, but like it's been a mess. So I can see them easily be like, we're gonna take it off of you. You can get it back, but you just been champion for too long.
Yeah.
You've been a dominant one, but we're gonna go ahead and take it off of you. But
it spices things up.
If they take it off of her, granted, she is mommy, right?
Oh yes.
I don't think she needs the belt. But if they make her lose, does that take anything away from Rhea? I don't think so. I don't think it cools her down. However, at the same time, I also say this. I go, the most dominant woman should be the champion. So if there's nobody that can beat her, then why take it off of her? Because realistically, I hope she keeps that son of a bitch until Charlotte Flair is ready to come back. And
I'm okay with that, actually.
I am 100, and as much as I hate Charlotte cashing in her Flair in the bank, right? Because she's done it so many times. I am a huge fan of Charlotte. No matter like I know a lot of people hate her because she just comes back, cashes in her, hey, I'm Charlotte Flair, and then gets a championship match. because she's Charlotte Flair. And I'm not saying that because she's a Flair. I'm saying that because she's better than 95% of the roster. So, of course, she's not going to wait in line when she's beating these women or doesn't. No offense when I say this. And I love this person, but I love these individuals that I'm about to name. She's not going to get in line behind a Candice LeRae. She's not going to get behind Alexa Bliss. She's not going to get behind Liv Morgan. She's not going to get behind what's Candice LeRae's
Indy Hartwell.
Indy Hartwell. She's definitely not going to get behind a Maxine Dupree. She's not going to get shit. She's not even going to get behind a Bayley. They're on the same pedestal, but Bayley's on a different brand. But like, she's not going to get behind a Dakota Kai. She could fight Naomi to put some respect on the name. She could fight Asuka again, but Asuka and Charlotte is pretty much John Cena and Randy at this point.
Yeah. I am all for it.
I am all for Rhea holding that belt for the remainder of the year. Maybe she loses it later. Maybe they do whatever, right? But I'm all for Rhea holding it, Charlotte Flair coming back at next year's Royal Rumble, winning it, going to WrestleMania, because Rhea beat Charlotte for that championship.
She did at Mania.
At Mania. And so Charlotte gets injured. She should be well rested and good to go by Royal Rumble next year. I say keep her out until then. I know that's a long time, but she's going to be gone for 9 months.
At least.
So that gives us the time. I say keep her out. Keep her out until number 30. Yeah, and I want her as 30. I don't want her in that match the entire time. I want her to be good to go. You just got off an injury. You're going to be a surprise entrant number 30. Or even late 20s. But I say 30 because, you know, everyone's looking for that. And to make it all better, to not even make it all better, but she can throw out Becky Lynch.
I like Becky.
I like Becky too.
I've never been hot on Becky.
And
if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's just like that would be a triumphant, like, hey, Becky is now in the Royal Rumble trying to win it to get back at Rhea Ripley to go back to WrestleMania to redo what happened last year at WrestleMania 40, who's number 30. Becky's in there from like number 4 and is just defeating people going left and right, left and right, left and right. Mm-hmm. Becky can also reignite. You can get a Trish Stratus return in that Royal Rumble too to reignite that feud in the Rumble and get that little moment. Right? I'm literally painting it right now. And then number 30.
I'm fully okay with that.
Yeah,
idea.
Number 30. Woo! Dun, 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 dun. Biggest pop. Comes back as a baby face. Or even a heel. But no one would know and no one would care. She'd be the biggest baby face. Because we haven't seen her in a while. And on her Twitter, as you can tell, Charlotte Flair is working her ass off to get back in the ring.
She looks good already.
She looks
dude.
amazing. And it's been, what, a month? 2? And she's
closer to 3.
She's walking around with Andrade, who is a very lucky man.
Ooh.
And he's big. I didn't realize how big he is. Andrade is a big dude.
Beefy boy.
Yeah, he beefed up. I know he went to AEW and beefed up, but like just seeing close-up pics with him and Charlotte, I'm like, yo, dude, you're a big boy.
They're yoked.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're Bobby Lashley. Well, not Bobby Lashley today, because that's like literally like superhuman, but you get my point.
That's a whole different level.
Yeah. But I just sat down, I was like, damn, dude, you're beefy. But no, yeah, I think Rhea Ripley holds this title until next year, WrestleMania. Royal Rumble comes through. Charlotte Flair comes back, returns at number 30, wins the Women's Royal Rumble, and they set it up that night. They don't even have to wait. They could set it up that night. Rhea comes out after the or maybe she's just at ringside doing like by the commentary booth, just watching the match, and then she stands up, gets in the ring or whatever, or kind of do what Cody did. Charlotte Flair would get on the turnbuckle, point directly at Rhea, then point to the WrestleMania sign. The fireworks go off. We already know who you're facing, honey. And then
Charlotte
the women's
Flair,
championship match at that point can be whoever.
yeah. I'm just trying to think. Like, you ran through a lot of the roster. Charlotte Flair, I think, as of right now, in my head, is the only member of the women's roster that I would put on the same level as Rhea Ripley.
I can give you one.
I'm listening.
Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I think she needs a little bit of heating up at the moment.
Okay, so that's different. You said same level. You didn't say same.
I think I think Rhea right now is at an S tier. I think she's an S tier. I would put Bianca at a high A. She hasn't done much since she lost the championship at Mania last year.
But that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say though. If we're gonna, for this instance, if we're gonna pit tiers, we got to take out booking, because booking is not their fault.
Yeah, that's true.
So if we're gonna pit them in tiers, we got to take out the booking factor, because they have no control. Well, some of the majority of them don't have control over the booking. So that's why I said I would pit, if we're pitting Rhea all the way at the front, I would slide Charlotte and Bianca right behind her.
I would say Charlotte. I don't know if I would put Bianca at the same tier, if I'm being honest.
I'd put her in the same tier. I don't think I would hold Bianca. I wouldn't drop her down to an A. If you want me to be honest, I would. And you're probably going to go crazy when I say this, but I would rather have Asuka and Io in an A than pit Bianca like all the way at the end on the S tier. Because I mean, you got. Let's talk about Bianca, because unfortunately, as of right now, she's not doing anything at WrestleMania. And
it's hard to take booking out when I feel like momentum is such a big part of what makes people good at the moment. You know,
I can understand that. I can understand that, and I can understand that. And I was gonna say we can definitely we'll have to agree to disagree on this one, and that's fine.
Oh yeah, we've done that before.
Yeah, and I respect that, and that's a good topic, because I could literally say the same thing about Rhea Ripley, when she was with Doudrop. Like, let's go back there, right? Ugh. We all were like, dude, why is she here? She's so much better than this. When she was teaming up with, what was it, Liv?
Eva Marie? Oh no, you're right. Yeah,
she was teaming up with Liv Morgan with the tag team championships, and we were like, why is Rhea here? And then we heard reports that she was going to go with Judgment Day, and all of us said, thank God, because she deserves better.
Oh, God.
So that's why I always like to think back to moments like that when I kind of try to categorize people, because it goes, well, we can't blame you. We can only blame the booking, because we all knew you were a superstar, even though the booking that they put you through was shit.
Yeah.
Prime example right now. We talked about him earlier. Austin Theory, the dude is great. Grayson Waller, the dude is great. Braun Breaker, the dude is great. Well, I mean, he's getting pushed to the moon in NXT, and that's all thanks to HBK. But as for the main roster, these guys are great. It's just they're in crappy situations right now.
You can't have everybody at the top of the card.
That's true. However, I do think WWE, and I think you might agree with me on this, I definitely think WWE has a problem with not having enough replacements at the top of the card. Because
Agreed.
If Roman, well, granted, they've kind of been a little bit better now. Now that we have Cody, now that we have Seth, we have Drew. But let's rewind 7 months ago. We didn't have any of these guys. It was just Roman and the bloodline. If Roman's cancer came back up and he had to go away, who were they going to replace him with?
Jeez.
if Roman got a test and
Boy.
he's like, hey, the chemo didn't work and I have to go away for another 9 months, who are they replacing him with? I would say LA Knight, but he wasn't ready at that point, in my opinion. He was hot, but was he world champion hot? Hey, I think LA Knight is great. He could have proved me wrong, and he still has, and he could have, because I believe in the guy. Could have been Gunther. It could have been Gunther. But if we looked at this roster a year ago, when it was just Bloodline heavy, LA Knight was doing shit with Bray Wyatt, rest in peace. LA Knight was what, Maxine Dupree. So he wasn't even LA Knight. AJ Styles was injured for almost a year, so he wasn't even here. Seth was on the other brand. The World Heavyweight Championship wasn't even a thing.
Wasn't even a thing.
Cody was in AEW. Sammy and Kevin were doing shit with the Bloodline and the tag team championships. Gunther was doing something. I can't remember what Gunther was doing like a year ago, defending the IC championship. A year ago he was slapping around Imperium.
Sheamus.
Yeah, there you go. He was doing stuff with Sheamus and Drew. So if Roman went down a year ago,
it would have been Cody.
Cody was in AEW.
Not at this point. He was facing. He was getting ready for Mania.
Well, you get my point.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying. You smell what the Rock is cooking. So when it comes to that, it goes like, damn, like I kind of wish y'all had more backup stars. Thankfully, as you said, not everybody can be on the top, but thankfully they are. I think they still need to do a little bit better as far as like, hey, let's push these guys and make them A+ players instead of our S tier players. But let's make them A+, so that way if our S team fucks around and finds out CM Punk, we can replace them.
Yeah.
Now,
I forgot we had CM Punk.
I mean, Drew McIntyre reminds us every Monday. I do hope that CM Punk makes some type of entrance or something at WrestleMania. I wish that he could have been special guest referee for that match. I don't know if his arms even would have allowed him to do that, but I think Seth versus Drew really could have needed that. And on the standpoint of, he really could have been a biased participant. He really could have been like, Drew, you've been talking shit about me the entire time, but Seth, I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the hands might not work, but he sure as hell can throw that kick.
I wish almost that this tag team match with Seth and
Cody
wasn't happening, because it's another example of the focus being taken away from something that needs it.
Yeah.
And I think with Seth being involved in this tag team match, it's really taking away from the Drew.
Yeah.
Drew feud.
Because we do know for a fact that on April 6th, the first night of WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins will be teaming up in a tag team match versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. We know for a fact that is happening night 1. We know for a fact Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre is happening night 2. We know for a fact that match is opening the show.
Oh, do we?
I'm pretty sure they said that.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's opening the show.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Because then they have, I would assume that it was open. It can't be, in my opinion, it can't be nowhere else on the second night, because Seth Rollins is once again going to be in the main event.
Somehow.
Well, I'm assuming they're losing the tag team. I'm assuming they're losing the tag team match.
I agree. I think so too.
I think they're losing the tag team match. They go into this bloodline thing.
Let's face it, The Rock isn't coming back to lose.
Well, I wouldn't even say that.
Oh,
I think
I'm saying it.
I think when I said Seth and Cody aren't winning, it wasn't for the fact that The Rock is not coming back to lose. I just, from a story perspective, it just makes more sense for The Rock and Roman to win night 1 and then Roman Reigns lose night 2.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense because once again, we talked about The Rock holding up the 1 and the L. That means something because he's done it more than once. And granted, people have forgotten about it with this Hollywood Rock thing that's been going on. Now, granted, we love that the Hollywood Rock theme song is back. And people have been mad that The Rock is breaking the double standard of, you guys need to be PG on your social profiles, and he's dropping all of these bombs. He is literally your boss and on the board of directors. He is also Dwayne The Rock Johnson. This man is the highest paid actor in the probably the world, honestly.
Probably.
This man can literally do what he wants. He can walk to that ring, pull down his pants, and take a shit in it and walk away. And people would go
make gold out of it.
And people would go crazy.
Nuts.
I saw a tweet that Rhea Ripley had spit her gum on the mat, and a fan had asked Cody to go grab it for her, and he gave the fan Rhea Ripley's gum. And I was like, what's wrong with people?
That's weird.
But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not surprised. Yeah. Shane, you say it's weird, but if that was Trish Stratus, she would have done the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But
you're right. But it's Trish.
Yeah, let's go back to, we over here talking about Rhea Ripley spitting gum. But I do think that Rock and Roman win night 1, and that's just solely because it makes more sense going into night 2. For me, I don't think it's the Rock. He's not coming back to lose. It just makes more sense for him to win there, set up Bloodline rules for night 2. Something go wrong in Bloodline. I really think Rock and Roman are going to come face to face because somebody's going to do something, or maybe Roman accidentally spears the Rock and Rock doesn't like it, lays the smackdown on his candy ass, costs him the match, setting up WrestleMania for next year. That could be a thing. If I just look, this is recorded, we're live. If I just called that and called the match, that would be kind of cool. And Rock can sell it. Rock can sell it like a Goldberg spear. I think that would be phenomenal, but that's just me. But I really think that Rock and Roman win night 1 and go into night 2, just because it makes sense.
I think it also adds a little bit of excitement to what could be a bland singles match.
It definitely does, because without that, the Bloodline rules, it would just be a regular match, and they would not do anything. It would be boring. It'd be like, hey, what is happening, right?
I'm not saying every match needs a stipulation, but I would definitely like to see more stipulation matches in WWE PLEs moving forward. If you have 4 singles matches, it just gets bland.
Shane.
Yes.
We just got out of a PLE that was literally Elimination Chamber. What do you mean?
I know, but look at other PLEs that leading besides Rumble and
Hell in a Cell, TLC,
but we don't
Money
have
in the Bank. Yeah, we do.
We don't have Hell in a Cell and TLC anymore.
We just had Hell in a Cell.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Or
was that just a match?
I don't even think we had a match this year.
I'm talking about. Sorry, let me rewind. I'm talking about Cody and Seth. Was that not at Hell in a Cell, or was that just in?
That was before Vince even left.
Okay, but was that not at Hell in a Cell?
That was before Triple H took over. So Triple H took over SummerSlam 2 SummerSlams ago. So that was freaking what? June?
Wasn't that still before Vince got kicked? Or no?
No, it was still Vince. So it would have been after Money in the Bank, but before SummerSlam. So June?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not arguing with you. I just assumed we had PLEs with weapons and stuff. Maybe I've been watching too much AEW.
No, when you started listing off of the different PLEs that we've had, like Money in the Bank, stuff like that, yeah, we do have stipulations. But for some reason, I just kept thinking that we had a lot more.
We definitely had a
without.
lot more. We definitely did. We definitely did. The stipulation matches, and as you know, because of blood, they've gone away. It's gone down.
And I don't need blood.
Yeah,
I just want something more than just a singles match.
and I mean, granted, like WrestleMania is kind of giving you it. They're giving you a 6-pack ladder match. So I mean, you got it there, and then we know that we're going to get a Extreme Rules match between Rock and and Roman and Seth, or I mean Roman and Cody.
Yeah,
So we know that those are going to be 2 hardcore matches right there.
I hope, and I hope LA Knight gets one, and I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So hold on. 2023 Elimination Chamber.
Andrew, the day is
and
good, man.
WrestleMania
How's you? How are
39.
you? Yeah, these matches, man, they're just gonna. I think you're right, but I definitely I see. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I do have a question though,
Yeah.
and I don't think they did it. Oh, they did it on SmackDown last year before the Rumble, didn't they? I mean, the Rumble, but WrestleMania. The Andre the Royal Battle Royal.
Yeah. They did that on SmackDown last year, I think.
Did they do a Mae Young one?
They haven't done a women's one in a while, I don't think.
Maybe that's what they do for Bianca this year.
That would suck.
But at the same time, it's just like that's not even on the card. That's on Friday Night SmackDown before.
Yeah. So I'm just going back to my argument from a minute ago. So Austin Theory, John Cena was a singles match. Seth Rollins, Logan Paul was a singles match. Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio was a singles match. Rhea and Charlotte was a singles match. Pat McAfee and The Miz was a singles match. Brock and Omos was a singles match. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew was a basic triple threat. Bianca, Asuka, singles match. Edge and Finn Balor was a Hell in a Cell match, but that was the only gimmick match, I think, on the entire Mania card last year. Yeah.
Can I hit you with a rebound?
Yeah, go for it.
I agree with what you're saying. However, a lot of those matches of what you just named didn't need gimmicks.
I know, but I was just looking for a variety.
And I get it. And I understand that. And I feel like we just have to look at the variety and I can't argue with that because on one hand I'm like, yeah, I see where you want variety, but on the other hand I go, it doesn't need variety because of the people that are there. Like it doesn't need the extraness because the people that are in the ring are enough. Like even looking at the current card, right? We have Roman versus Cody. Well, we don't know what it's going to be, but as of right now, it's a regular singles. Then we have Seth versus Drew, regular singles. EL versus Bailey, regular singles. Rhea, Becky, Gunther, Sammy, Logan, Kevin. Well, Logan and Kevin, that's triple threat.
Which changes it up a bit.
Yeah, and I see like a lot of this stuff is not like, and I could be like, oh yeah, the variety is, oh, you're getting men, and then you're getting women, and then you're getting some tag teams here, and then you're getting a tag team here, and then you're getting 2 triple threats. Oh, by the way, we're gonna go ahead and give you a 6-pack ladder match with 12 people, and yeah, there's your variety, son. But I totally
okay. So here's one that I
totally get.
Here's an example. Night of Champions. We had 7 matches. 6 out of the 7 were just regular singles matches. And the main event was a tag team match, so there was no stipulation on any of those matches.
I can see why you want stipulations because I mean you're like me, man. You're an old head when it comes to this. We're used to seeing some type of table or something.
And I'm not saying every PLE or anything like that needs it, but when you look at, for example, like Night of Champions, you had 6 singles matches, and the only other match was a tag team match.
To be fair with you, I don't even remember Night of Champions. To be fair with you,
I had to look it up, but yeah.
And I mean,
yeah,
going into WrestleMania, I think I don't know if it needs it. But that's like I said, looking at the WrestleMania card for what it is now, we don't know the stipulations for a lot of these things because they're going to be constantly changing as we go along. Like we know that at least 2 of these are going to be Extreme Rules matches or anything goes, right?
Yeah.
I say 2 of them. Sorry, 1 of them. We know that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is going to be anything goes. We know that the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship 6-pack ladder match is going to be absolutely insane.
It's going to be bonkers.
And I think they're going to put that in like the middle of the show. I think they're going to put that in the middle of the show. That way people can go cool down. Because people are going to go crazy for that. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, Logan. That's a triple threat. That gives you some variety. I really expect the Brass Knuckles to be involved. So, all right.
Oh, for sure.
Then you got another triple threat not triple threat, but tag team match. Roman, Seth, Cody, Rock. That's night 1.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy versus Jay, AJ versus LA. You got those 2. So, I mean, we have a little bit of variety. I ain't mad at it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, man, going into WrestleMania, it's definitely a big battle, and it's something that like we are definitely going to probably be talking about more up until the very date of April 6th and 7th, because this card, like me and Shane said earlier, is definitely going to be changing, and I definitely think that some of these are going to stay the same, but a lot of this card is definitely going to change. Whether it be stipulations.
I don't even think we're done with getting matches yet.
Oh, I don't think so either. I think that we're going to at least get 2 more. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 right now. I think we get 2 more. That way it goes 6 and 6.
I think 4. I think it usually goes 7-7.
Could be. I think the only reason why I don't think that many is because they're putting a lot of people in that tag match.
You think we'll get a women's tag ladder match?
No.
You don't think so?
No. I don't. I think that if the women's tag team championships are going to be on the WrestleMania show, it's going to end up being on the pre-show.
That's disappointing, but you're probably right.
It is disappointing, but I don't think, because tell me right now, who are the tag team champions?
Asuka and Kairi Sane.
I don't think they're going to be on the card. I think they're going to be on the pre-show and then try to be involved inside of Io Sky and Bayley. If Io Sky and Bayley weren't there, then I would say Damage Control not Damage Control, but Kabuki Warriors would be on the card. But because of Io Sky and Bayley being on the card itself, I think that the women's tag team championships are going to be defended against probably 2 other teams, maybe a triple threat, in the pre-show. And I would assume that would be Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Chelsea Green.
And Katana Chance and Kaden Carazaro, or maybe even Shayna and Zoe. Speaking of Shayna, did you see Shayna going to the indie
ECW?
show?
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, that's very interesting. The doors,
I guess she's not the only one that's going to be there. I guess there's going to be more announcements.
The doors are opening and I like it.
I'm all for it, dude.
I like it.
It's WrestleMania week.
You know what I want, right? You probably don't.
No, I probably don't.
I want Xavier Woods. Up, down, down champion.
Woods.
I need Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, Zero, whoever he wants to portray, to go 1-on-1 with Chris Danger. Mr. Chris Danger himself.
Not sure who that is.
I need to show you. I need to put you on Chris. You sleeping. I'm going to send you his YouTube channel stat. Started off as a WWE 2K game player. Just debuted in DPW. He was going to call out Adam Cole before he got injured and broke his ankle. And he just teamed up. Sorry, his debut match was with Sean Spears. And he just got done teaming up with Tyler Breeze. I gotta show you his stuff, dude. Chris is amazing. Yeah, he was a WWE gamer and he made his life a reality. So his WWE 2K superstar is Danger because his name is Chris Denker. Um, and we're
That's an improvement.
actually seeing his WrestleMania, like we're seeing his 2K character come to real life because they look obviously he made the model off of himself, but like he's wearing the gear and turning Chris Danger. What type of insomnia is this? Like he's making it into a real thing. Chris, yeah, I'll send you his stuff after the podcast. His stuff is phenomenal.
That sounds
Um,
exciting.
he's great. He's absolutely great. I've been a fan of his, Shane, and I'm surprised I've never talked about him with you before. But I have been a fan of Dink Ops since 2015.
That long ago.
Dude, like
Wow.
I've been a fan of his for a long time.
Yeah.
I've been sorry. I noticed him 2016. I started watching him my junior year of high school. Sorry, not junior high school, but like
I was gonna say,
my junior year of like college.
we
So
graduated in 2011,
yeah,
homie.
my time is off. But I started watching him the year before I went inside the military, which was 2016. And I remember finding him through just like the recommended or whatever. Um, and I was glued ever since. I'm a Discord you his YouTube, so that's his YouTube link right there. So make sure you subscribe and watch his shit because he not only has the WWE 2K stuff on there, but he also has the reacting to his very first match because he wrestles for DPW. Um, Side note, speaking of DPW, Kenny Omega gave them a huge shout out recently. Kenny Omega was
Hey,
streaming on Twitch and someone had asked, yo, do you watch any other promotions or whatever? And he was like, yeah, DPW. DPW is amazing. And I like a lot of guys that goes down there and blah, 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 blah. And I was sitting there, I was like, yo, that is fucking awesome. So good on that, good on that. But yeah, no, DPW and Chris and all them, and I have some friends who do stuff to do DPW. So yeah, we'll definitely have to chat it up about that. Regardless,
interesting.
WrestleMania is going to be a big card. We'll probably get more and more and more as we go along.
Did you see the match that Bronson Reed is trying to get booked for
No,
Mania?
no, what do
It's
you?
the Big E Meaty Man
Oh,
Invitational.
yeah, yeah.
I love
That
it.
that was Big E's idea, man, and that Meaty Man Invitational. That would be great for Big E to come back and just like host or commentate or whatever.
Yes, make
Um,
it happen.
I will say this, speaking on Big E, if he ever does come back to wrestling, I truly hope, and I don't mean this in any regards against this other individual, but I really hope that he takes, and I know we talked about it earlier. Um, I know Jerry Lawler's heir is Corey, but I really want Big E to be more on my camera. Like I
Oh,
really
for
hope
sure.
they give him a hosting gig, whether it be I don't know if they want to add him to a commentating booth. I think that would be cool. I know they're kind of redoing commentating as we speak right now with 3-man and 2-man booths and all that jazz. So I don't really know if there's going to be a place for him there, but his analytical mindset and the way he thinks about just sports entertainment and from escape point, you can have him be like a Booker T and be permanently on like the pre-show stuff. And I think that'd be really cool to actually have someone that one clearly knows what the hell they're talking about. Two is obviously active with like their most recent changes and whatnot, and then obviously can
Sure.
give their standpoint on stuff. But I really
It
hope.
makes me hopeful that because they haven't pulled the plug and put him on commentary already, that he and they, being the WWE, are hopeful for an in-ring return.
I hope so. It would be amazing to see Big E back. Um, but knowing the incredible, oh no, that's not the word I want to use. Knowing the crazy like injury that he had and how
Yeah.
incredibly thick his neck is, like thank God he's that meaty because if he was that meaty, he would be paralyzed.
Yeah, it would be out of the question.
Yeah, he has publicly said that, and I'm happy that his surgeries has gone well and all that stuff. Thank God he's still walking and with us and all that jazz.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't.
Because it's coming up on 2 years since that happened too.
Yeah, but I think he's the first person with a neck injury out of all the ones that have had neck injuries where I would say, dude, because your neck injury was worse than Stone Cold's, worse than Edge's, worse than Lita's, worse than Paige's, worse than Daniel Bryan's. Like your neck injury is the worst out of the worst, and you survived it. But yours is the worst out of the worst. I'd be okay with you just chilling.
Good point.
I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, you could go to the AEW doctors like the other people went to and say like, hey,
Uh,
let me go
was that
through
shade?
this and do whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like CM Punk used to say, just throw a CPAC on it and call it a day.
Yeah.
But knowing that yours was the worst out of the worst, I don't want you to do that. I just want you to chill. Like if you
For
had
sure.
the same surgery or the same neck injury as the rest of them, then I'd be like, oh yeah, you're fine. You know, I'd be like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, obviously it's a serious situation, but dude, you're fine. If they can do it, you can do it. You know, you'll be all right. But knowing that it was, 2-3 times worse, I was like, nah. No,
For sure.
like, it's a new day. Yes, it is, and thank God it's a new day. But brother, sit your ass down.
Right?
Yeah, but it is what it is. Well, we have went way overboard for this time frame. Because we usually keep it at like 45 minutes to an hour, and now we're at an hour and 22 minutes. But that's just what happens with us talking about wrestling. We can go on and on and on. But I just want to say, will Cody Rhodes finish his story? We do think so.
God, I hope so.
We hope so, and we kind of are hoping. And Shane thinks that Damian Priest is going to cash in and crush the story and end up winning, and we're going to go off the air with Damian Priest being the new WWE Universal Champion.
I do.
And I say to that, we will find out next time on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This has been the K&S Wresting Podcast. We will be back next weekend, to talk about this again. If we are
Eventually, we'll be back eventually.
We'll be back eventually. We don't know. I don't know. Like I said, this was a test run, so I don't know if we're going to be live or if it's going to be recorded. But regardless, make sure you guys subscribe and stuff here on the channel, like the lives and stuff, because it really, really helps us. Be expecting WWE 2K content from me this week. Be expecting WWE 2K24 content. Let me be specific. For me and Shane this week. This week is going to be the debut of our my GM mode, and so make sure you guys subscribe to see that. My Rise content is going up this week as well. It's already been edited and stuff like that. So this could be a new video dropping tomorrow, which I believe is the video that me and Shane actually shot yesterday, which is our song quiz. But we'll see if that one actually. I'll have to edit it tonight or tomorrow morning. We'll see that if I choose to put that one up tomorrow, but we'll see. If not that one, I have something for you guys. Don't worry. With that said, though, we are done here. We will see you guys next week. Make sure you take care of yourselves and stay blessed.